Hello, I'm embarrassed. Blade Boques. I'm Blade Boques. And this is the final part of the Blade Edge, episode 7. That's right, guys. In this next video, the Blade Edge series comes to an end. You guys have watched quite a bit of it. I hope it was extremely helpful. I definitely enjoyed coaching, but it's not something that I'm going to be doing again. I know you guys have been reaching out to me saying, how on earth are you done coaching? Things like this. We want to pay you and things like that. Trust me, that's extremely appealing right now, but when I did that, it became more of a consulting basis. And I've been trying to be a Twitch streamer for years. For so long, you guys. Trying to be a YouTuber and streamer. So that dream is still alive, amazingly enough, and I can't really divert my efforts towards coaching people. So we did it with 3 people last year, and this is going to be the end of it. So hopefully you guys got a great amount of information, and just continue to look at the other content creators, especially on YouTube. There are just so many of them. And I mean, I say especially on YouTube, but also on Twitch. There are just constant, great streamers live all the time that have amazing AP, that are excellent grinders, that understand the PvP scene, that know the current patch notes in the marketplace. And I just encourage you guys to reach out to them. All right, in this final episode, I'm having basically another breakdown of cooking, right? We've done that a lot. We've hit that pretty hard, but it was, again, for his benefit through this coaching session, not primarily as a guide. This time, I'm making him do it, basically. Not as a test, but I need to make sure he understands every bit of the profit. And there's a couple questions I throw out there to try to trip him up. And he did a great job. And he knew exactly the right answers, and he was looking at it correctly, which meant the coaching stuck. I mean, he came to me with 272 AP, and then we really dove into these integral systems of life skilling, and he got even better. So you guys can follow along and see if you've learned the same extent that he has. You have the benefit of being able to rewatch these things, and hopefully that's great. As for the pink hoodie there earlier, it was actually at E3 when someone ran up to me and said, "Blade Boques, can I get a selfie?" And I was like, sure, go ahead. And I didn't know who he was, but it turns out he was a fan who watched the Bum to Billionaire series in 2016 and early 17 that this was based off of. And he was the streamer relations to Fortnite, and then brought me into the VIP area, and it was pretty cool. I got to see a lot of those VIPs from Twitch, and I got one of the last hoodies. So really, really cool experience. So shout out to you. Thank you very much for that. Either way, in a way, I'm a little bit sad that this is over, but it's not the last Black Desert guide that will be on the channel. It's just the end of the Blade Edge. So I'll go over my future plans for gaming and for Black Desert in another video, but I hope you guys get a lot out of this.
Makes sense.
Lots of information, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, here are all my blue eggs. I actually was buying these for like 3 years because I didn't think they would eventually just forever sit on the market, but it looks like they really do. And I made so many specials, probably 200,000 specials in about like the 2 or 3 weeks before E3. So Valencia meals. Valencia are really good XP, so it's one of the better things for XP. I thought it was Gear 12. Oh. And the profit, it's okay. It's not terrible profit, but it's not necessarily amazing. So really good profit meals are generally the Serendia Special, primarily. The Arahaza meal works out really well in a larger system of Cron meals. Knight's Combat's rations are generally very good, and then the Balanos are very good as well. Let me see how much time we have left, and crap. Dang, this is so complicated, it's hard to rush through it. But
you're fine. I'm following along.
That's good. Okay, cool. That's Arahaza, that's Serendia. And these exquisites definitely sell super fast. It's absolutely crazy. So whenever I made gigantic batches of one thing, I think it probably was I can't remember what it was, but I made like between 30 and 50,000 of one particular special. I spent over $1 billion silver just buying the other types of specials that I needed so I could turn them into Crons so I could get my silver back faster. And they sold so quickly. I sold between like 5 and 10,000 Cron meals within a week. It was absolutely like crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, it really does work, and you can kind of decide what level you want to get out on based off of what profit you want and then how fast you need the silver. So for me, I was doing aggressive silver rebuilding, so I didn't mind the heavy investment to get it back so I could buy more pen accessories. All right, BDO special time. I'm gonna have you do this one, and I'm gonna kind of watch you do it, or we'll do it together, but I want you to take the action. So do you have a screen share thing available with a little calculator you can pull up?
Yeah.
Right.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling everything up on my side as well.
No problem. There's the link to the site directly. So there's like some old philosopher, I think from 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, that says, teach a man something and he'll never learn anything, but show him and have him do it and he'll learn for life, or something cool like that. Paraphrasing some ancient philosopher, I don't really remember. But
trying to fix all my windows real quick.
Sure, yeah, no problem. And if you don't even want to screen share, if you just want to talk me through it, that's fine, whatever's easier.
No, I'd rather
Okay.
do it that way.
Yeah.
I've been doing it alongside just to make
Okay.
sure that I get it down correctly, but
Cool, yeah, this isn't a test, we'll just do it together. Isn't it crazy how much profit's there? I mean, literally
that's
sitting on the market. Yeah, it is insane. It's like you don't even have to make all the subcomponents. But what's really nice is we're factoring the value of buying the subcomponents. If we wanted to, we can do the math and then obviously build in that extra 10% from not being taxed on the subcomponents, use them ourselves, and that often expands the profit even higher. So, I mean, we're looking at pretty much a base rate of 80 million per hour with just something as simple as Serendia Specials. I've always loved cooking. It's pretty crazy. And cooking's nice because you can basically do it indefinitely. Where alchemy is really something that you would do periodically. You do it in batches and you run out of materials and it's not easy to get more. Cooking is kind of self-sustaining, especially with farms and things like that for onions and pepper, and then milk being part of the turn-ins.
alright, so we're doing Balanos.
Yep, doing Balanos. It's not too hard of a recipe and generally pretty solid as well.
Alright, so
Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna do it a little bit higher than normal just to be on the safer side.
Yeah, makes sense.
So 2,600.
Yep. Okay, looks good. So we're at, yeah, 26,000 times 2.5, you're at 65K. It's nice to have a little notepad, right? That
Yeah,
works well.
my issue though is my push to talk is essentially the tack button hyphen. So anytime I'm pushing to talk, it's doing a negative or.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you want, you can just open your mic if that's easier. That's fine with me, or we can do it this way.
I should be good.
Okay.
So then we add that on to Balanos.
Yep. All right. Yeah, looks good. So we got an 83,000 net worth before tax and all that
So we're
stuff.
looking at 70 mil to work with before we start buying everything.
Right.
Balanos is a real beer.
Yeah, I know. Is that funny?
I've got 100,000 beer, so I probably won't put that into the equation, but I'll do it just to.
Right. We'll do it anyway, but exactly. That's just something that is built-in profit. So it's another perfect outlet for what you already have.
So it's cheaper to do cold draft.
Exactly.
Do 3.
I agree. 3,000 would be the right price.
Cheese gratin. there blue? There is. Can we use chewy cheese gratin, or actually do those do sell?
Yeah, you should be able to. But exactly, they do sell. So this would be one of the only things.
One or the other.
Right, so this would be something where you wouldn't easily be able to get it in the market, so we'd have to take it back a level and basically do the profit for what it would cost us to make our own cheese gratin, which is not the most fun, but it's part of it. So we'll just kind of table, so we're at 67,000 before the cheese gratin. So let's look at that recipe together here. And cheese itself wasn't even available on the market, which is kind of annoying.
Right.
Have we talked about the AFK drying of milk for cheese at all, or not really?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. I'm starting to, unfortunately, kind of jumble what I tell each person. I have 4 students now doing this BDO coaching.
No, you're fine.
All right, so just real quick with the whole milk to cheese thing. This is one of the better AFK things, because if you buy milk straight off the market for, 10K a piece or something, you're on average going to make 2.5 cheese as you're drying it, and they weigh almost nothing. So what this ends up doing is, if you just sold the cheese in the market, you're going to be making over 7 million an hour. What's nice about that is, if you have to go away to work for 12 hours, or if you're taking a trip or spending the whole day somewhere or the weekend somewhere, this is going to be a continuous source of money, where fishing is just going to be done in a night, processing is going to be done in a few hours, and while processing makes more money faster, cheese could be done for a very, very long time. So that's just one of the things to know, like, if you have to leave, if you're doing it for 20 hours, you can come back to about 150 million. Definitely a nice little chunk of change. And so that would be kind of factored in to this equation as well. So it takes 1 milk, 3 cheese. Let's see. So if you just do the standard valuation of just buying cheese in the market, even though it's not sitting in the market, it's easy enough to get that you could just kind of value it at that.
Okay. Alright, so we're just going to do 7. Dough.
Oh wait, were you deducting it from the overall cost?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold up on that for a little bit. Just since we're actually down the last 5 minutes, I'm going to retake the helm here. So we'll have to restart the equation there where we price out how much it takes to make cheese gratin, since you're going to make 2.5 procs. If it only made 1, then you would be right, you would just deduct the cost. But this is going to make 2.5 of these things. Do you see what I mean? Or...
Do what?
Here, rewatch my screen here real quick. So basically, you can't actually just straight up deduct the cost of cheese and dough and all of this from the overall price. You're gonna have to do a separate equation to find out the value of cheese gratin, since you make a proc of 2.5 on average. So we have 3 cheese, we're looking at what, 7,000 or something each. So this is kind of like the same equation we were doing, but in reverse. So we're looking at 21,000 for the cost there. Dough is pretty inexpensive. Dough is what? So you've got it, maybe it's 600 each, something like that. Right, so there's 5 dough, 600 each. We're looking at an extra 3,000 profit there. And then we have grilled sausage, which I think we valued those at 18,000 in the past. So we're gonna add 18,000 for grilled sausage, and then we have 4 vegetables. Those are basically pumpkins, so those are generally around 200, 300 each. It's not a big deal. We're just gonna add 1,000 to that, and then we have to add the cost of red sauce. Hopefully we can buy them. All right, good, we can buy them. So what this shows is, this is how much we have to spend, oh god, in order to make 1 batch of cheese gratin, right? Wait, I subtracted that. Let me add that in, because I subtracted it. So if we're spending that to make 1 batch of cheese gratin, what we're really doing is, all we have to do is divide that by 2.8. It's weird, but the reason you do that is because whenever you're making 1 batch, you're making the 2.5 and you have the 0.3 chance of making the rare proc. So now we have a real value if we had to make our own cheese gratin of 20,000 silver. So when you look at something and you're like, okay, this is not viable, it's not on the market, how do I do this? That's the math you do to get the real value of what a subcomponent is. So if we go back to the math you were doing, where it's 67,000, all you have to do is deduct 20,000, and then mentally you have to just know that you have to make that step yourself.
Makes sense.
It gets complicated, but this is where the money is, and knowing how all this relates to another. And what was the last thing you just deducted? I was changing my windows here. I missed it.
Sorry. So
okay.
It was 67,000 minus 20,000 for making our own cheese grot.
Right.
So that brings it to 47,000. Meat
croquet
is 30,000 a pop.
Nice and freaking expensive.
Smoked fish steak is about 1.
Simple enough.
And stir-fried vegetables, it looks like blue is cheaper than green, and those are about 3,100. So right around 13K, 14K, somewhere around there for each.
For the finished combined?
Yeah, for the finish.
Yep, okay, so for making 2,500 of those an hour. So BDO Special here would be a good 35,000 an hour. So not bad, not fantastic, and for AFK, you know, this definitely beats a lot of the other AFK methods. And then of course what you would do is, if you wanted to do the math originally, you would just factor in the original. It was 83,000 times 0.845%. That's brought us down to 70. So if we take that 14,000 just from selling them on the market, and we add in the 13K from taking it to the next level of cron meals, then we multiply it by 2,500. Now it shows that we're basically looking at 67,000 or 67 million per hour from manufacturing BDO Specials, if the final step of making crons at the very least breaks even. And we've already done the math on exquisite crons to see how that works. So yeah, dude, that's like a quick just dissection of how the cooking life skill works. But how you feeling? Pretty confident on new cooking knowledge?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Good stuff. All right, so what I would recommend is, I think you should be making Serendia Specials. So you can just buy a lot of the ingredients off the market. Try to produce about 20,000 Serendia Specials, which is way up there, but it'll be pretty good. Actually, let's say 21,000. So we're gonna make 21,000 Serendia Specials, make 7,000 Arahaza Specials, and then buy a total of 21,000 Kama Specials off of the market. Try to keep the price under 30K. It should be pretty viable, and it might take you, you know, actually you should be able to get it within half of a week or so. And let's meet up for our next session after a week, and I want to see how that goes for you. So try to 21,000 Serendia meals, 7,000 Arahaza meals, purchase 21,000 Kama meals, 21,000 off the market, and then turn that into 7,000 exquisite cron meals and start selling those. And you should be, you know, at least in the beginning process of selling those by the next time we meet.
Okay.
All right, man. Any questions as we wrap up today?
I should be good to go.
Okay, cool. Any final things? I'll look over your whole document one more time, and I'll look over all the prices on NA one more time, and then give you any kind of like future expectations for the market and stuff in our final session. But is there anything that you've wanted to learn that we haven't yet covered yet that I can make sure we talk about next time?
No, nothing off the top of my head.
Okay, you just like the pace that I'm kind of going through things,
yeah.
So. All right, then we'll probably do additional cooking and alchemy profit, just because the more you understand about that, the quicker you can look at it and be like, hey, there's 100 million in an hour. So right. We'll do some more of that next time. All right, man. Great. And if you have any questions, just hit me up on Discord.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. Go make those billions.